Hi, in this video, we're going to talk about the importance of building an email list. Okay, so the first point is, when you have an email list, that is your own audience. It's not Facebook's audience, it's not Spotify's audience, it's not Instagram's audience, it's yours. When someone gives you their name and email address, they're giving you their information, they're giving you their name, so you know who they are, but also they're giving you permission to provide them content and provide them material. They're giving you permission to continue communicating with them. When you build up an email list, let's say you have maybe 1,000 subscribers, you always have that email list. No matter what happens, no matter what Facebook's algorithm is doing today or whatever Spotify is doing today, you have your own audience that you can communicate with on an ongoing basis. When you have an email list, you know who your fans are. So kind of like what I said before, when someone gives you a name and an email address, you know who they are literally on an individual level. You also know when they open your emails. You also know when they click on links inside your emails. You know who they are by name, by email address, and to an extent by behavior as well. Another good reason is that everyone, at least everyone on the internet, or at least everyone who uses social media platforms or music streaming platforms, everyone has an email address. Because different people use different platforms. Some people get their stuff on Instagram. Some people listen to music on Apple Music. Some people only listen to music on CDs or whatever. However, they all have an email address. So when you're promoting your material to them, when you're promoting new stories, new content to them, you know you can get them at least via their email address. Better analytics. So for all of the above reasons, when you do have an email list and you're looking at the campaigns you send out, the emails that you send out to them, you know by name who is opening your emails and who is clicking on your links. Okay, so it's a much better way of understanding your audience because you just have that data, so you have better analytics. This is better than analytics that you have on social media because you don't really know who those people are necessarily. Obviously, you can look at your followers, but you don't necessarily know on an individual level who's doing what. You only know people on an abstract level, which is useful, but it's also good to know your audience on an individual level. And building an email list with analytics allows you to do that. Rich formatting. Okay, so on social media, you are limited to the format of that platform when you are posting out your communications or when you're posting out posts or whatever. Like on Instagram, you have limitations. On Facebook, you have limitations. But in email, you don't really have limitations. You can do what you want. You can post links, you can post images, you can post videos, you can post like even private content, like unlisted videos and that sort of thing. And you can format using HTML the content of your email. It can pretty much be as long as you want it to be, and it can feature all of the content and be laid out in the way that you want to lay out your materials. And that also gives you an opportunity to kind of express yourself further as an artist. More leverage. So again, it's your audience. So the more you build up your own audience, the more leverage you have generally in your career, and the more leverage you have when you're possibly even talking to labels or other entities that you might work with, you have more leverage in that deal because they are also getting your audience as well as their own. Okay, so if you build up your email list over time, you have your own audience to bring to the table when you're cutting deals and when you're talking to people about working together. More permission. So again, when someone gives you an email address, they're giving you permission. They are now in the consider stage. Okay, they're now much closer to being a fan than someone who just follows you on social media. You know that even if that's 1 in 30 people who do that, you know that you've got a deeper connection and that those people are telling you, hey, I am really interested in what you're doing. I really like your music and I want you to email me. I want you to send me more content so that I definitely don't miss it. And retargeting, because you have their email address, you can actually retarget them on social media with ads and that sort of thing. Inside MailChimp, for example, there's an ad product there where you can run an ad against your email audience and that ad will appear, in other platforms, social media and what have you. Okay, because you have that audience. Okay, so monetizing. Now, monetizing social media, monetizing platforms, it's very difficult unless you have like many listeners, like many views, many. And at the beginning, you probably don't have that many, but It doesn't mean necessarily that you don't have enough of an audience to make money. When you have an email list, even if that email list is only 100 at first, it's so much easier to sell products and sell things to them because they're not on social media. And on social media, people are just there to scroll. They're just there to endlessly consume content. But in email, you can reach them much better, which means you can much easier sell products. You can include links to your merch in your emails. You can include links to buy your music in those emails, and you can use links to like Patreon or anything like that. Because you don't really have any limitations and it's a much better form of communication, monetizing an email list is significantly easier than monetizing the top of funnel content, the social media and everything else. Okay, so these are my top reasons why you as a music artist, or maybe you as a music producer or songwriter, should be definitely building an email list, because for any email that is worth way more than, tens or hundreds of followers more on social media, because again, they've given you permission. They want to know more. They want you to communicate with them. So they're giving you permission to do that. And in turn, you're building an actual fan base as opposed to a follower base. And those people are going to buy your products. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.